What's going on, guys? Sticks here with the Token Minorities, bringing you another deck on Pokemon TCGO, and today I am bringing you a relative blast from the past, and by relative I mean that this is the deck that Ahmed Ali took to top 8 at San Jose Regional, so big shout outs to him on his success with this deck, and that is a deck centered around none other than the full retaliation Gyarados, Gyarados all the way back from Ancient Origins. And before I get into the deck, just a reminder that if you guys like this video or found it helpful, please leave a like, drop a comment, click that subscribe button, it helps us out a ton. And let's do more cool stuff for you guys. And also, if you have not done so, please feel free to check out the TTM Discord that will be linked in the description below. Here at TTM, we're a collaborative channel, and our Discord is no different. We have channels for not only TCG, but also Smogon and draft format content as well. So if any of that interests you, please feel free to check that out. And as for the question of the day, when Gyarados came out, well, not when Gyarados came out, but when the Gyarados deck really kind of took the standard meta by storm, it was kind of something that people really did not see coming. It was one of those decks that it was just like, I mean, everybody, well, a lot of people would look at the Gyarados and be like, yeah, I mean, that's cool and all, but really, I mean, you had to have a bunch of damage counters on your Magikarp. There was like no true reliable way. I mean, yeah, there was like Magma Seeker base, but nobody had really paired those two together up until that point. But all of a sudden, once cards like Buddy Buddy Rescue came out, where you could reliably retrieve cards from the discard pile and Pokemon that have been knocked out from the discard pile and play them back down, suddenly people were like, wait, this is a deck that can hit insanely hard, is a budget option, which was very, very big. I mean, you had to have like 1 or 2 Shaymins, but if you didn't have Shaymins, like, yeah, that set you back a little bit, but it wasn't just a, your deck is not going to work. It is a, okay, your deck's going to be a little bit slower. But, I mean, you could rely on things like Octillery in particular to draw cards, so it had ways of being a pure budget deck. But it was also a deck that could hit insanely hard, because not only with 3 Magikarp that are damaged on the bench, full retaliation can hit for 150. You tack on, actually no, even more than that. It's 60, 60, 60, that's 180, 210. Tack on Muscle Band, that's like 230. So I mean, Gyarados was able to hit for insane amounts of damage. And so my question of the day for you guys, I know it's like 2.5 minutes in and I haven't even gotten to the question of the day. What is your favorite budget deck that you think has a place in the current standard format, not expanded, standard format? Because like Gyarados, I mean, I'm wondering if there's a deck in the current standard format that could have the same type of success that Gyarados had way back when it was running this, well, not really running the standard format, but when it was very relevant in the standard format. I believe at the end of, I think it was late XY, where Gyarados really started to shine. So if you had to ask me, like, I'm really not sure. That's partially why I'm asking you guys, because I really don't know what budget decks are successful in the current standard format. If I had to guess, I would say maybe something with Passimian, just because with the new Passimian able to boost damage, Passimian's able to, well, actually no, I guess that's just team play as well. But either way, I would guess that maybe it has something to do with Passimian, just because it's able to hit for fighting weakness, it's able to hit for psychic weakness, which can take out Necrozma and Buzzwole, 2 of whom are the top decks in the format right now. So I mean, that would have to be my guess. Maybe something with Passimian, but I really don't know. So let me know in the comment section down below, what is your favorite budget deck in the current standard format, and what deck in the current standard format would have the most success as a budget deck. So yeah, sorry, 4 minutes in, I'm done. Let's just go ahead and talk about this deck. Sorry about that. But anyway, onto the deck. Like I said, centered around full retaliation. Gyarados can easily get up a ton of damage with damage counters on Magikarp, and with the cards that you have in this deck, you can reliably get that. And then also, the thing with Gyarados, it has the Theta Double, there we go. The Theta Double trait, where you can have up to 2 Pokemon tools attached to that. So you can attach 2 Choice Bands and suddenly you're hitting for 60 more damage against certain EXs. Gyarados is able to easily one-shot a Metagross GX or Solgaleo GX or a 250 HP GX with 2 Choice Bands attached to it and Magikarp's full. I mean, that is absolutely ridiculous that you're able to do that for a double colorless energy, able to hit for 270 damage for a double colorless energy is absolutely nuts. So you can see why Gyarados is successful, but let's just talk about the rest of the mons. We have 1/1 of Shaymin and Lele. Both have their, both have their uses in the deck. I would not try to use both of them in a single game because they do take up bench spots that you want for Magikarp and Gyarados. So definitely be careful with how you play those, but they both have their reasons for being used. I mean, Lele is for a supporter, and then Shaymin is just for extra cards if you need to extend just a little bit in a single turn. We have 1 Oricorio because otherwise Night March would be a nightmare for this deck. This deck relies on hitting for a ton of damage and taking advantage of the prize trade. So Oricorio is able to just be like, okay, you have a bunch of Pokemon in your discard pile. Well, I'm just going to take a bunch of your Night Marchers as prizes. 4/3 of Magikarp and Gyarados. You only need 3 Gyarados just because 90% of the time your Magikarps are not going to be evolved. You're only going to evolve them when you absolutely need to, like last second need to evolve them in order to attack with Gyarados, because full retaliation relies on Magikarp being damaged and having damage counters on it. And you definitely 1,000,000,000% need to use this Magikarp with the Submerge ability. As long as this Pokemon is on your bench, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks. That, I cannot stress enough how much you need to use this specific Magikarp, because otherwise Buzzwole is a thing. Buzzwole will just snipe down all of your Magikarps and you have pretty much nothing you can do about it. You have to like get a big turn, and even then they just have to Jet Punch once again to knock out your Magikarps. Like, really, you just need to use the Submerge Magikarp to be immune to damage, and then 3 Gyarados just because, main attacker. We're also running 1/1 of Remoraid and Octillery, kind of like longevity in terms of being able to draw cards late game. Late game ends don't affect you as much just because you have the Octillery. And so it's just another way of being able to draw cards and not be hurt as much by a late game end. As for the items, you got 1 Computer Search as the A-spec of choice because this deck relies on some combo pieces and individual pieces that you might want to search out from your deck. 4 Dive Ball, 4 Ultra Ball for the search methods, well, the Pokemon search anyway, throughout the deck. Just be able to consistently get as many Magikarp as you can onto the field and get them out as quickly as you can. 1 Field Blower because it's not like the biggest deal in the world, because we don't really care about choice bands or anything like that, but Garbotoxin could shut us down, so at least we have one way to be able to work around that. Methods of recursion: 4 Puzzle of Time and 3 Rescue Stretcher. Now I will say that he did have 4 Rescue Stretcher, which makes complete sense, but in testing the deck, first of all, I only had 3 of the Seeker ROS, so I was like, you know what, I'm going to try this out, see if I notice a significant difference, and admittedly, I did not play as many games as Ahmed. Definitely take his word over mine in terms of what works best for this deck. But the way I played the deck and in the games that I played, I really didn't notice a huge difference between 3 and 4. So I decided just to stick with 3 because, it worked for me. But just know that in the original list, there were 4, and then 4 Puzzle of Time, 4 also Recursion, and then 1 Special Charge as Special Energy is what this deck relies on. 4 Trainer's Mail to kind of speed up the setup process, just kind of get more cards in our hands, cycle through the items or the other trainer cards in our deck that could be particularly helpful. 4 via Seeker to reuse all of our supporters. Absolute max number of Magma Secret Base because that is what puts the damage counters on Magikarp. This deck does not work at all without Magma Secret Base, and I believe it was Gyarados that actually shot Magma Secret Base up to like $15 to $20 per card, like just the regular, like not even reverse hollow or anything like that, just the regular Magma Secret Base shot up to like $15 to $20 per card because of Gyarados. So this deck 1,000,000,000% needs that to function. And then as for the supporters, we have quite the myriad actually. Colress, N, and Sycamore for draw supporters, just be able to consistently draw in the expanded format. Skyfield is back, so Colress is a way to be able to shuffle draw, or even just if you and your opponent have filled up benches. Extra way to draw, like shuffle draw like 10 cards or something like that. And then N Sycamore just because they are very consistent and just get you cards that you need when you need them. 1 Ghetsis to kind of shut down our opponent's early turns. Even late game, just like a late game Ghetsis can put like a bunch of cards back into the deck. Just really just disrupting your opponent. Wow. Disrupting your opponent, or putting disruption on your opponent, I guess would maybe be the term. I don't know. But either way, disrupting your opponent is what Ghetsis is all about. So just be able to put item cards back into the deck and you draw cards. Gladion is necessary because if you have a bunch of Magikarps prized, you're kind of screwed, because if you have 3 Magikarps prized, you can't take prizes to get to your Magikarp, so it's like a catch-22. Gladion is there to kind of work around that, although if you have 3 Magikarp prizes, you're kind of screwed. 1 Lysandre, just because Lysandre is amazing, and then Lysandre definitely over Guzma in this deck, just because we do have... we don't want to like switch out a lot. We like having the Mons active that we have active, so that's why Lysandre over Guzma. 1 Teammates because Gyarados will go down relatively frequently against certain decks, so we want to be able to just get 2 cards from the deck to be able to continue that process. 3, 1 of Choice Band and Muscle Band, just a little bit extra damage output, more Choice Band because we need that extra damage against the EXs and GXs. 1 Float Stone for free retreat, and then 4 DCE. Wow, I've talked for way too long. Sorry about that, guys. Let's go ahead and see this deck in action. Alrighty, we have found one against Exile and... No, what was it? Exile and Near? Exile and Near? I don't know. With a Gardevoir deck. I mean, if this isn't Gardevoir, I will be absolutely shocked. I mean, this looks 100% like Gardevoir. And we do lose the coin flip, unfortunately, which means we will go set... What? Which means we will go first. Well, that can't... Wow. Was not expecting that. Kind of the last thing I was expecting, to be honest. I would think Gardevoir would definitely want to go first. So what that tells me is that there's a very high likelihood that he's actually playing Diancie in this deck, because otherwise, with a Gardevoir deck, and like I said, if this is not Gardevoir, I will legitimately, like, I have no idea what it could possibly be if it's not Gardevoir, because, I mean, it looked like the archetype of Gardevoir. I mean, you saw the Psychic, you saw the Fairy, you saw the Fighting, and those guys don't really go together much, except in a Gardevoir deck. So, yeah, I mean, I'm definitely thinking this is Gardevoir. And the only explanation for why he allowed me to go first is that he is running Diancie as well and wants to get that immediate evolution. So, I mean, I could be wrong, and he might have just misclicked, which is a very real thing because I've done it before. And we see a... What is that? Cutie Fly. Sorry, I was completely blanking on what that mon was. I was like, no, it's not Comfy, but it's Cutie Fly. And let's see, what do we have? Okay, so 3 of them are there. 3 Magikarp are in the deck. Let's go ahead and Remoraid. Let's grab a Remoraid. Let's go for Trainer's Mail, see what I can get. I can get a Muscle Band, which I can definitely work with. Let's play the Remoraid down. Double Colorless up the Magikarp, Muscle Band up the Magikarp, and then Sycamore away my hand to see what I can get if it's anything workable. And this is definitely workable. I can really work with this. So let's go ahead and Trainer's Mail, grab another Magma's Secret Base. Let's Ultra Ball, get rid of the... Let's get rid of the Choice Band and the... What do I want to get rid of? Let's get rid of the Choice Band and the Teammates to grab a Magikarp. So I can at least get another one in play. Play that down, go ahead and damage this Magikarp, and I think I will call it a turn right there. We are good to go. We got 2 Magikarp in play, 1 with damage on it, 1 in the active with a DCE onto it, so I'm good with that. And yeah, we're in a very good spot. My opponent does play the Fairy Garden, so he counters my Stadium, and there is Diancie, so I mean, I was right. I wasn't really looking at my opponent's side of the field just then. I was just kind of looking at what I could do with my turn. And yeah, we do see the Diancie. We see the manually retreat, or the free retreat into the Diancie, and then he will just be able to... We'll just be able to go for the Sparkling Wish, evolve his Ralts into a Kirlia, and go from there. And he is running the Psychic Kirlia, so... Oh boy. I hate to do this, but I need to computer search just for a supporter. I mean, just plain and simple, that's what I got to do at this point. So let's just computer search for the Sycamore. I didn't want to get... I got rid of the DCEs opposed to the Magma Secret Base, because DCEs I can always get back with the Special Charge, which I actually draw, and this hand could not be better. I'm able to get all 3 Magikarp onto the field. I have a Gyarados, I have an Octillery. I'm able to Trainer's Mail to get a supporter for the next turn. I'm able to evolve into an Octillery, able to evolve into a Gyarados. I have a Special Charge in case he's able to knock me out, and if he's not able to knock me out, then I will just be able to get another knockout. And I even get another DCE and another Gyarados for next turn. So, yeah, this was probably the most perfect hand I could have asked for. And then the VS Seeker, like I was saying, could get me a Teammates, could get me a Sycamore, really could get me just whatever supporter I could want in the coming turn. It does promote the Kirlia. I don't think he's going to be able to knock out my Gyarados with his... Yeah, I really don't think he's going to be able to knock out the Gyarados. Okay, so he does just search for 2 basic energy. And he needs a DCE. I mean, he needs to be able to Secret Spring and then attach a DCE in order for him to knock out my Gyarados. I don't think he can do that. Well, especially because he just manually attached the Psychic Energy. So now he's not going to be able to knock out the Gyarados. And I'm going to be able to knock out a Gardevoir. So really just kind of, yeah, Infinite Force, and then it just doesn't knock me out. So, I mean, that was a very curious play by my opponent. I get a Dive Ball. I kind of just want to hold on to that. Do I want to play anything? I really don't. Like, there's nothing I want to play because, I mean, I have the knockout on the Gardevoir. I have stuff in my hand that I want to save for later. So, yeah, I mean, I'm just going to draw and attack, just plain and simple. I get another Gyarados. So, I mean, I'll be able to stream Gyarados. I'll be able to consistently knock out, like, Deances or Ralts. And my opponent does bring up a Nihilego, which will be able to knock me out. So, good play on that. But all I have to do is just Teammates. Yeah, all I have to do is just Teammates, grab another half of the Puzzle of Time, which will allow me to get a Magikarp back and a DCE. I'll be able to play that Magikarp right back down. And yeah, I'll be in a great spot. So yeah, it just does retreat into his Nihilego, takes a knockout on my Gyarados. But like I said, I have everything I need in my hand right now to take another knockout this coming turn. I even get another Magma Seeker base. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and VS Seeker for the Teammates to grab another Puzzle of Time and then probably just another Oh, I can't do that. Wow. Well, whew, that was... Yeah, because I was knocked out by Poison, Teammates isn't active. Well, that was an interesting realization, but with the damage that he put on his Nihilego, even just a 2 Magikarp with 2 damage counters on it, a full retaliation, still would have knocked out the Nihilego at that point, and I obviously had the Gyarados in my hand and the Magikarp, so Teammates didn't work out the way I thought it did. I mean, I knew that it didn't work out that way. I've played around that before, but just a quick brain fart right there, but I still would have been able to take the knockout on the Nihilego, which would have been game. And yeah, solid game 1. Let's go ahead and try to find another one. Alrighty, we have found another one, and this time, not sure, So, yeah, we do get to go first, so we actually win the coin flip this time, and I'm still just like, my mind is still just blown over last game, just the fact that we lost the coin flip against a Gardevoir deck, and we lost the coin flip against a Gardevoir deck, and he still let us go first. I mean, that was just kind of like a, huh? But I mean, we roll with it, and yeah, this is against, sorry, I kind of got distracted thinking about it, but let's see. Okay, so I have absolutely nothing turn 1. Let's go ahead and do this. So I mean, at the very least, I'll have a supporter for next turn, and this is up against what I was gonna say it was a Ray Eels deck, but I was like, no, that's not in the expanded format, but it is just with Shining Rayquaza. That's really cool. Yeah, I mean, Shining Rayquaza, I have actually not seen that thing yet at all. This is my first time, I think, ever running up against it. But yeah, this should be very interesting, just to see how this matchup goes. I think we should have the advantage because I mean, yeah, he can one-shot us in return, but I think if we're just able to stream Gyara's, then we should be fine to be able to take this game against him. But regardless, this is still going to be a very interesting matchup. Wasn't able to get much going turn 1 at all. I mean, at least with that one puzzle, was able to rearrange the top 3 cards of my deck so that I can have something going next turn. And I really just need the ability to get a Magma's or Team Magma Secret base in play. And Oh, please end, please end. Oh, thank you. Kind of wish that I had played the Float Stone now, but, I mean, I didn't really want to... I guess I could have done that to bait out the... Are you kidding me? I hate this game. But I guess what I could have done was just play down the Float Stone to try to bait out the Field Blowers early so that he doesn't Field Blower away my Team Magma secret base. But... Ooh, got the alternate artwork of that trainer's mail. That's pretty cool. And I get a Magma secret base. Okay, please something good. This counts as something good. And the top deck of the Magmas is amazing for me. So let's Magmas. Let's Choice Band up. No, not Choice Banding up the Oricorio. And then N. Please give me a bunch of Magikarp or something that I can work with. Well, yeah, this definitely counts as something I can work with. I hate to play down Shaymin this quickly. But, I mean, at the same time, like, I just need to. And it looks like there is a Magikarp prize, so I will need to get access to that in order to... I guess I don't need it right now to consistently knock those things out, but for the future, I will want that to be able to knock them out. So let's go ahead and grab a Sycamore with the Trainer's Mail, DCE up another Magikarp, just the more Magikarp I have, and I didn't want to play a Shaymin because that's a free 2 prizes for my opponent if he brings that out. But at the same time, I just needed to extend a little bit more. There's an Ultra Ball. I can work with that. Let's Ultra Ball get rid of probably the Teammates in the Colress just to grab another Magikarp, because the more Magikarp I can get on board, the better chance I will have of potentially winning this game. And so that's ultimately just what I have to go for at this point. So yeah, there we go. Let's just go ahead and get... Now this is a much, much better turn. I think what I'm going to do is leave my Oricorio in the active until it goes down. I think that might be my play. He is able to get a Lightning Energy onto the Shining Rayquaza. That is fine with me. Just, I mean, as long as it's not a fire, because he can manually, or he can accelerate Lightning. He can't accelerate fire. So if he just uses his manual attachments on Lightning, then he can't attack for the time being, and I'm okay with that. He does play down a Tynamo, gets more damage on that. Float Stone's up. Yeah, the Keldeo, that makes sense. Really hoping he plays down another Tynamo, because that would quite frankly be perfect for me. And then Dynamotor onto the Rayquaza. It still can't attack this turn because it does not have a fire energy on it. And Sky Judgment's just easily going to be able to knock me out. But this is such a cool deck by my opponent. It really is. And going to be able to get rid of my Magma Secret Base and a Choice Band. Honestly, that's okay with me. Just because the Choice Band really isn't going to be doing a whole heck of a lot against him. Well, especially with the Rayquaza. And he is just going to Dragon Pulse. Please discard something useful. Discarding a Lightning Energy is not... Well, I mean, it's useful for him. I meant discard something useful that he couldn't get back out of the discard pile. But, I mean, that ended up actually being a pretty solid Dragon Pulse for him. I mean, yeah, he doesn't get to use the Magma Secret Base. But, actually... So, I'm going to play down the Remoraid. I know that I just gave up my last bench spot, but I want the ability to extend... I want the ability to have Octillery later if I need it. I mean, I can always just Oricorio if I need it, but yeah, let's just go ahead and knock out the Shining Rayquaza, take a prize so you can get, and it's our last Magikarp, so that is great. One turn too late just because I have already filled up my bench, as you guys have seen, but otherwise, I mean, it's still fine. Gets another Electric, and then is going to VS Seeker. What's he going to go for? Go for the Colress. I mean, that's 7-card Colress. That's very strong. Doesn't get rid of resources. Lets you take advantage of my full bench. But, I mean, that's my fault. Plays down another Shining Rayquaza and a Fighting Fury Belt. So, I mean, he can 2-energy Dynamotor onto it, but he has to have a Max Elixir in order to be able to attack this turn, which I don't think he runs anyway. I would think that might... You might not have enough, or you might not have quite enough room to be able to run Max Elixir in that deck. So, yeah, I think he's just going to be 1 energy short of knocking out a Gyarados this turn. And, yeah, I should be just fine. I get an Ultra Ball, that's fine. Okay, so what I can do this turn is I can take out the Keldeo, and that's 2 prizes, or I can Lysandre up his... his Shining Rayquaza put that thing in range of just being knocked out by a Field Blower, actually. Like, 'cause if I'm able to get my Field Blower, I'll be able to knock that thing out. Or I can take the 2 prizes just on the Keldeo and then be that much closer to winning the game. I think what I'm going to do is just take the 2 prizes on the Keldeo, and then if I had the Field Blower in hand, that'd be one thing, but I kind of want to wait, because I also didn't want to, yeah, I mean, I didn't want to waste the Lysandre in case I needed to Lysandre around the Fighting Fury Belt a little bit later. I feel like just as long as I keep streaming Gyarados, I can work around the Fighting Fury Belt until I'm able to deal with it, as opposed to having to 2-shot something, because that's where this deck can struggle if you have to 2-shot something. And he does just Sky Judgment. That's fine with me. He has to discard 3 energy, but at this point he will also have to manually retreat out, as he does not have a Keldeo, or he just has to play down another Keldeo, which is something that I will target down like crazy in order to take that out. And ooh, just I almost missed that. Almost missed that. That would have been a big whoops. But let's go ahead and computer search. Let's get rid of the Ultra Ball and the Lysandre. I could grab a Field Blower, or I could grab a Gyarados. Gyarados doesn't ensure me a KO, but I mean, at least it ensures me an attack, which I need to just consistently attack. The only way I can lose is if I miss an attack, I feel. So if I'm able to just constantly stream attacks, then I should be able to win. And the game rewards me by letting me draw straight into my Field Blower anyway. So that worked out well, and I am able to get an Octillery with a Dive Ball, and this is perfect because now what I'll be able to do is, first of all, have DCEs on all 3 of my Magikarp, Gyarados, those things, and then what I am able to do now is just Field Blower away that Fighting Fury Belt, and now our full retaliation will be able to knock out his Shining Rayquaza, to where he has to promote something. Like, if he has a Float Stone, then that's pretty easily worked around. But he must not, because he promotes his Rayquaza. And so that's going to work out beautifully for us, because what it will allow us to do is... Ooh, we see a Zorua come down. So this has... Does this have Zoroark? It might. And then he does just Lele. Well, I'm very glad I have the Octillery now, because otherwise I would have been at the mercy of Lele and a potential N. So, yeah, very glad that I have that now. And he does... He's going to get a 4-card Ghetsis off of this. That is crazy. But a good play. I mean, it's safe to assume that my deck is mostly items, as that's kind of sort of what... So that's kind of what Gyarados relies on for any sort of consistency, is just oodles and oodles of items in order to be able to. And he's going to... Grabs the Lysandre, then grabs the Oricorio. Why did he grab the Oricorio? How many Pokemon are in my discard? Only 2. Is he trying to do what I think he's trying to do? I think he might be trying to snipe down my Magikarps. I think that's what this guy's trying to do, is try to snipe down the Magikarps right at the end. Ooh, I see you. I see you. I see you out there. So let's... I have the Gladion, but I think I'm just going to Octillery, see if I can get anything better. Let's go ahead and Trainer's Mail, see what there is. There's a Rescue Stretcher. How do I want to play this? Because, once again, we'll not quite have the knockout on the Rayquaza. So what I think I'm going to do is just Colress. And then... Oh, wait, I'm stupid! Oh, I'm an idiot! I am such an idiot, guys. I just realized that I could have Lysandred up the Lele. Like, as the Colress went down, I realized that I could have Lysandred up the Lele and knocked that out for the game. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. I smacked the mic right there just with my... Oh man, it is... I don't know. I'm sleep deprived when I'm recording this. That's going to be my excuse. But man, how... That is so ridiculously frustrating. I can't believe... I mean, like, it's not frustrating in the sense that, like, it was out of my control. It's frustrating in the sense that I'm a straight-up idiot. That was... The game was right there. The game was given to me. it was just handed over. It's like, here, do you want this game? Here, you can have it. And I was like, no, 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 I'll wait a little bit. I'll make myself wait a turn. And yeah, again, I'm sorry about smacking the mic right there. That was just, I was trying to facepalm and I smacked the mic in the process. So I'm dumb, but at the same time, I mean, I still do have the game. But at the same time, I'm still very dumb. Oh boy, cringe. Hardcore cringe. Just I need to put like a cringe warning or a trigger warning or whatever those millennials are calling it nowadays on this video or right before that, because warning, throwing game away when he has zero reason to because idiot. But regardless, we are able to come through and knock out the Oricorio right there for the game. And yeah, so Gyarados able to come through. It's able to be like, you know what, Sticks, you suck, but it's okay. I've got your back right now. I'm just going to go ahead and take these last 2 knockouts, even though you screwed up. And, well, I mean, that was still a very cool deck that we went up against, and I got to show off what Gyarados does. And also one of the nice things about the screw-up was that I got to show how easily it is to just keep recurring Magikarp, even if they are sniped down on the bench. So, very cool and very fun couple of games. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. And this is Sticks signing out. Why not? See you guys.